Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Shtottara Satasvi Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Prabhupada Nuga Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nittai Gaura Premanande, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we are doing the second shloka of the Catuh Sloki. Text 34, Canto 2, Chapter 9. Rite artham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyat atmano mayam yata bhaso yata tamaha. Translation: O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Purport: in the previous verse, it has already been concluded that in any stage of the cosmic manifestation, its appearance, its sustenance, its growth, interaction of different energies, its deterioration, its disappearance, all has its basic relation with the existence of the personality of Godhead. And as such, whenever there is forgetfulness of this prime relation with the Lord, and whenever things are accepted as real without being related to the Lord, that conception is called a product of the illusory energy of the Lord. Because nothing can exist without the Lord, it should be known that the illusory energy is also an energy of the Lord. The right conclusion of dovetailing everything in relationship with the Lord is called Yoga Maya, or the energy of union. And the wrong conception of detaching a thing from a relationship with the Lord is called the Lord's Daivi Maya or Mahamaya. Both the Mayas also have connections with the Lord because nothing can exist without being related to Him. As such, the wrong conception of detaching relationships from the Lord is not false, but illusory. Misconceiving one thing for another thing is called illusion. For example, accepting a rope as a snake is illusion, but the rope is not false. The rope, as it exists in the front of the illusioned person, is not at all false, but the acceptance is illusory. Therefore, the wrong conception of accepting this material manifestation as being divorced from the energy of the Lord is illusion. But it is not false. And this illusory conception is called the reflection of the reality in the darkness of ignorance. Anything that appears as apparently not being produced out of my energy is called Maya. The conception that the living entity is formless, or that the Supreme Lord is formless, is also illusion. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said by the Lord in the midst of the battlefield that the warriors standing in front of Arjuna, Arjuna himself and even the Lord had all existed before. They were existing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and they would all continue to be individual personalities in the future also, even after the annihilation of the present body and even after being liberated from the bondage of material existence. In all circumstances, the Lord and the living entities are individual personalities, and the personal features of both the Lord and living beings are never abolished. Only the influence of the illusory energy the reflection of light in the darkness, can by the mercy of the Lord be removed. In the material world, the light of the sun is also not independent, nor is that of the moon. The real source of light is the Brahmajyoti, which diffuses light from the transcendental body of the Lord, and the same light is reflected in varieties of light. Light of the sun, the light of the moon, the light of the fire, or the light of electricity. So the identity of the self as being unconnected with the Supreme Lord is also illusion. Supreme Self, the Lord, is also illusion. And the false claim, I am the Supreme, is the last illusionary snare of the same Maya, or the external energy of the Lord. The Vedanta Sutra in the very beginning affirms that everything is born from the Supreme, and thus, as explained in the very previous verse, all individual living entities are born from the energy of the Supreme Being, the personality of Godhead. Brahma himself was born from the energy of the Lord, and all other living entities are born from the energy of the Lord through the agency of Brahma. None of them has any existence without being dovetailed with the Supreme Lord. The independence of the individual living entity is not real independence, but is just the reflection of the real independence existing in the Supreme Being, the Lord. The false claim of supreme independence by the conditioned souls is illusion, and this conclusion is admitted in this verse. Persons with a poor fund of knowledge become illusioned, and therefore the so-called scientists, physiologists, empiric philosophers, etc. become dazzled by the glaring reflection of the sun, moon, electricity, and deny the existence of the Supreme Lord, putting forward theories and different speculations about the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of everything material. The medical practitioner may deny the existence of the soul in the physiological bodily construction of the individual person, but he cannot give life to a dead body, even though all the mechanisms of the body exist even before death. The psychologist makes a serious study of the physiological conditions of the brain, as if the construction of the cerebral lump were the machine of the functioning mind, but in the dead body, the psychologist cannot bring back the function of the mind. These scientific studies of cosmic manifestation of the bodily construction, independent of the Supreme Lord, are different reflective intellectual gymnastics only, but at the end they are all illusion and nothing more. All such advancement of science and knowledge in the present context of material civilization is but an action of the covering influence of the illusory energy. The illusory energy has two phases of existence, namely the covering influence and the throwing influence. By the throwing influence, the illusory energy throws the living entities into the darkness of ignorance, and by the covering influence, she covers the eyes of men with a poor fund of knowledge about the existence of the Supreme Person, who enlightened the Supreme Individual Living Being, Brahma. The identity of Brahma with the Supreme Lord is never claimed herein, and therefore such a foolish claim by the man with a poor fund of knowledge is another display of the illusory energy of the Lord. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 16.18 to 20 that demoniac persons who deny the existence of the Lord are thrown more and more into the darkness of ignorance, and thus such demoniac persons transmigrate life after life without any knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, this purport is a long purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yesterday we discussed existential truth. Ahameva samevagre na anyat. Krishna is saying that there is constant existence, permanent existence, eternal existence of Him, and there is no other existent separate from the Lord. Everything else is a dependent existence. And He establishes the absolute truth to be Himself. So we understood that existence means, real existence means Krishna. And all of us are also existential spiritual personalities or existing spiritual personalities. But our existence is dependent on that of the Lord. That is expressed very nicely in Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. All are eternals, but there is one chief supreme eternal who is the source of all the eternals. And these eternals are all dependent on the Supreme Lord. Just like we read now, the living entities are all product of the energy of the Lord. That's a very important distinction to note. So we are all dependent, eternal existence. It is not like the existence of the Lord, supremely independent. That is very important to know. That's about existence. And next in this shloka, Riteyartam yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tat vidyat atmano mayam yatha bhaso yata tamaha. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in the darkness. If anything has any value and it is not related to me, it is not real. In other words, value means it has to be related to Krishna. But something appears valuable in this material world because we attribute value to it, material value. We say this is worth so many millions and therefore it is valuable. But actually it is not valuable. It is only valuable if it is seen in relation to Krishna. Because Krishna is the ultimate value. And if it is not related to Krishna, it's not really valuable. Very interesting. Economy should be based on this, that Krishna is of ultimate value, absolute value, and therefore everything related to Krishna is valuable. Tadiyanam samarchanam, as Lord Shiva says. So here it is mentioned that we take things as valuable based on our own standards of value in the material world. And Krishna is saying it is not only not valuable, it's also illusion. It's not real. So these are very amazing statements. If we really live by these statements, nothing is valuable in what we do. Everything is illusory. It's a very, I don't know how we can read all these things and still continue to live in the material world without being Krishna conscious. And these are spoken by the Supreme Lord to Brahma. And Brahma is correcting an extremely subtle, different understanding that Narada has. That he has watched Brahma and is saying, maybe you are that supreme person, that supreme creator, because you do all these things. No, that is illusion. That is actually illusion. I explain to you why. Because he is the supreme valuable reality. This is explained. So it's very interesting. Many things that we see and value without connection with Krishna, obviously, they don't exist. They are not real. They are illusion. But at the same time, Krishna is saying, but it is not false. Something is an illusion, but it is not falsity. And here Prabhupada is making a distinction. Illusion occurs when you accept something as real, which it is not. Snake and rope. The rope you see and feel it is snake. And you get afraid of the rope because it looks like a snake to you. It's perceived as snake to you. Therefore you are afraid of it. But actually there is no snake there. But actually separately snake is a reality and rope is also a reality. Both exist. They are not false. But here you have accepted the rope to be a snake. And that acceptance and the thinking that this is snake is false. Your acceptance is, so there is a reality there. And the way we look at it and perceive it is false. That's where the illusion occurs. The illusion is in the way we see things and accept them. That is where the illusion is. But there is a reality there which we are not able to see, which you are not able to perceive, which you are not able to experience. In other words, this looks like a mic to me. I am speaking into the mic, I am speaking into the camera. It looks, and I have accepted it as a camera, but it is not actually a camera. There is something else there. I don't know about it because my illusory perception and conditioning makes me think this is a camera. But the function of the camera is going on. I call it a camera. Can you just imagine that my understanding of things in this world, which is an interpretation of my mind, my senses, and because there's a distance and a big difference between my senses, what they perceive, and what they really are. So Krishna is telling, if it is not connected to me, it will be illusion. And this material world is a place where illusion is necessary in order to materially exist. Illusion is a necessity for us to actually enjoy matter. Only then we can enjoy matter. The enjoyment is illusion. The matter and the perception of that matter is also, the perception of the matter is illusion. But the matter exists in a way that you don't know. That's why Krishna is explaining here very nicely the nature of illusion. What is Ma-ya? Ma means not, Ya means this, not this. And Prabhupada is explaining very technically here, the right conclusion of dovetailing everything in relationship with the Lord is called Yoga Maya, or the energy of union. Yoga means union. Yoga Maya means energy of union. That is what we should be doing if we are Krishna conscious. We should see everything in relationship to Krishna. Not that we should see, it is like that. And when we get to see it like that, we are in Krishna consciousness. That is explained also in Bhagavad Gita in the 6th chapter. What is the meaning of a true yogi? Atmaupamyena sarvatra. True yogi sees everything in relationship with me. Right? He doesn't fall into illusion because he doesn't desire at any time to exploit, enjoy, and materially possess anything. Illusion immediately works in when we have that attitude. Japatiya maya dhare. The moment you forget Krishna, Maya catches you or illusion catches you. But as long as you remember Krishna, not simply remember in terms of memory, as long as you bring Krishna consciousness consciously and you're relating with Krishna, then that illusion disappears. That illusion disappears. So, this material world, as we perceive it constantly, in terms of possessing, enjoying, judging, estimating, without association with the supreme reality, Krishna, is illusion. It is not worth worrying about, including your happiness that you derive from that, which is temporary and has no substance, and the misery that comes out of dispossession or other types of things that happens to us in the material world. All that is not worth worrying about, thinking about. That's what it means, because it's illusion. Because it's illusion. So even when we look at others and we make a material estimation of them, that estimation is also an illusion. That's why he says Pandita Samadarshinaha. Only a person who sees the Supreme Lord in everybody gets to really see that person as a spirit soul. It's a very amazing deep physics that Krishna is speaking. Krishna is factored into everything. Wherever you want to see properly in reality, Krishna is factored. Daivam Chaivatra Panchamam. I am the fifth factor in everything that is happening. Apart from the endeavor, the senses, the situation, the time, the soul involved, I am the fifth factor. And if I am not factored in, then everything is illusion. So you cannot avoid God. God is not an option to believe in. It's not, believing in God is not an option. It is a necessary part of reality. If you want to be in the reality, you have to factor. If you don't want to call him God, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to give him a personality because you have got some problems, then again you can say that, okay, but there is a reality. There is an absolute reality, an absolute truth. You have to contend with it. Otherwise, nothing is real. Otherwise, nothing is real. So the Bhagavatam is saying that absolute truth is Krishna. And that absolute truth has a personality. And that absolute truth has a form. These are the questions put by Brahma to Krishna. About his form, about the reality of his form. Because first he is shown Vaikuntha. Then he gets to see Vaikuntha Vasis. Then he gets to see the Lord of Vaikuntha. And he sees his beautiful form. So Prabhupada is brilliantly saying in that purport we read yesterday, that he is saying that Vaikuntha is a reality. As much as the kingdom is a reality where the king is there. The Lord is a reality, his Vaikuntha is a reality, and the Vaikuntha Vasis are also a reality. Because all of a sudden the Lord manifests Vaikuntha and everything to him in his meditation. Because he is pleased. So we have to please the Lord by devotional service to him. And we can get into the reality. These are pre-qualifications, pre-requirements for becoming a person who is situated in reality. Very important to note. Otherwise, we are cursed with being in the illusion. We are eternally damned to be in illusion, which is something that we should be very worried about. It should be an existential worry. Who am I? Where do I belong? Because I can feel, I can think, I'm conscious. But what am I? Who am I? Consciousness makes us ask these questions, gives us these experiences. So you cannot, understanding the truth is not an option. You'll be damned to live in illusion and constantly be groping around and wallowing in that oblivion, in illusion, looking for the truth and thinking anything and everything that you see is the truth. It's such a pathetic state, so sorrowful. So it is always in our good interest to accept the authority of the Lord, because along with that comes the reality and freedom from illusion. Freedom from illusion is a great, situation. We are free from the burden of illusion. Illusion is a burden that we cannot take. We are fatigued by the burden of illusion for janmas and janmas and janmas. And we have to understand that by reading the Bhagavatam and by the association of pure devotees like Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. What is being given to us is a great, wonderful boon, gift of reality. In the Bhagavatam and the experience of Krishna consciousness, we are being given and gifted reality to us. It's very rare. It's happening only because of Lord Chaitanya's movement. And by chanting Hare Krishna, you become situated in that reality. It's no ordinary experience. You may not immediately perceive it fully. You may not know it fully because of our dull consciousness. But we are being situated in the reality. And gradually we will perceive it more and more and understand it more and more. As we chant Hare Krishna, as we associate with the Bhagavatam, as we associate with devotees. So very affectionately, Krishna is telling Brahma, whatever you experience and you think is of value, and if it is not connected with me, is illusion. Very foundational sutra. This is what is happening to us by remaining Krishna unconscious. Krishna conscious, by remaining Krishna unconscious, we put ourselves in Maya consciousness. That is the yoga of separation. But Prabhupada is saying the yoga of separation, Maya Shakti, Mahamaya, is also connected with the Lord. She is an energy of the Lord, and therefore she is also a reality. The yoga of separation is also a reality. It's not false. But your acceptance of illusion inside that is false. So falsity is our product. It is not Maya's product. It's not imposed on you. It is a way you tend to accept illusion because of the stake you have inside Maya. I want to enjoy matter, exploit matter. Therefore, Japatiya Maya Dhare. Therefore, you are forced to be in illusion. An amazing science explained here by Krishna. And scientists are all, great thinkers are all trying to crack this. I'm not saying that I have cracked it or we all have cracked it. But at least in theory, we can stretch ourselves a little bit by whatever good we have got through chanting the holy name and association in the Krishna consciousness movement. We can at least crack to some extent the theoretical understanding of it. Although we cannot claim to be situated fully in the reality by our own estimation. It is a gift. Reality is a gift in Lord Chaitanya's movement, which is never given to anybody. Never given to anybody. Simply by chanting of the holy name. right? So as we render, so don't have to think about it as service I'm doing to somebody whom I don't see, the invisible God, who is a person who has put me inside this situation and I'm getting troubled so much. And such an invisible God who troubles me, I have to worship in order to be in reality. No, no. Even your so called suffering is an illusion. It's an illusion. You're suffering it because of your own choice. You're enjoying it out of your own choice. So it's a very interesting understanding. Hacking into the reality. Only you can do the reality hack. You can only do through the Bhagavatam and through the mercy of a pure devotee and through the mercy of the Supreme Lord. No, and it's not, I should not use the word hacking because it's not your own effort. That's why I said a gift. All you are doing is to follow the instruction. An illusion is a painful situation for the soul. It's not his constitutional position. It's not natural. Right? So very nicely Krishna is speaking to Brahma and saying, don't make that mistake of remaining in illusion, disconnected from me, because while you're doing your service, remember this. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Right? So anybody who does this service of bringing people into the light of the truth are doing the greatest service to them, to humanity. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada attempted that. While doing, he said, I'm only attempting it. Everything depends on the Supreme Lord's mercy. I must attempt it because it's an order from my Guru coming in the Parampara. So I'm attempting it by sailing in the ship, having 2 heart attacks, landing in America, and presenting this truth to everybody. He attempted. And he said, credit is not mine. My only credit is I tried to attempt and present. That's all my credit. He was so clear in his understanding of what he is doing, how he is doing, why he is doing. And therefore you can very clearly see that this person is not under Maya, not under illusion. It takes quite some understanding to be able to appreciate a person who is not in illusion. We can consistently in this world misunderstand those who are not in illusion and situated in reality. That is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Yanisha sarvabhutanam yasyam jagrati samyami. That what is darkness for the materialist is light, and vice versa. So because illusion and reality are directly opposite, you are situated in either one of them, the other looks illusion to you. Even when you are in illusion, people who chant Hare Krishna and worship the Lord, they look like, what a strange Lord, what are you doing with your time? Cannot understand what is happening. Right? So, therefore, we need the mercy of the devotees to be able to get into reality. We need the mercy of the Lord to be shown the reality. Krishna became merciful to Brahma because he was pleased with the austerities of Brahma and his desire to know what is the reality. So every human being, every soul for that matter, should have the desire to know what is real. What is going on? What is real? That is very important question. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. That's why the Vedanta Sutra says. So, Krishna is clearly saying that whenever we are Krishna unconscious and we are approaching deciding, thinking, feeling, willing, enjoying, whatever, that is not real. That's not real. With one swell swoop, all these things have become unreal. So why are we worried? Why are we so concerned about certain things in this world or about many things in this world? So our first business is to be connected with the reality. That's why our first business is to be Krishna conscious. And the best way to do that is to chant the holy name of the Lord and be instantly situated in reality. Sushushubhi Stakshanat. To read the Bhagavatam and deeply discuss these matters. These are all important subject matters. These are not matters that we just do very cursorily every day as a duty. We should scrutinizingly study, Prabhupada has mentioned. Get into it, think about it, ask questions, and contemplate it. Because it's a truth. It's a truth. Therefore, these statements are so wonderful. And if we can only absorb ourselves, we are given the reality by Krishna. So here, although the reflectory energy of the Lord varies illusions to the eyes of persons with a poor fund of knowledge, the sane person knows clearly that the Lord can act even from afar, far beyond our vision, by his different energies, just as fire can diffuse heat and light from a distant place. In the material science of the ancient sages, known as the Ayurveda, there is definite acceptance of the Lord's supremacy in the following words: Jagadyonir anichasya chidanandaika rupinah pumso asti prakrtir nitya pratichayayeva bhasvatah achetanapi chaitanya yogena paramatmanah akarot vishwam akilam anityam nataka kritim. There is one Supreme Person who is the progenitor of this cosmic manifestation and whose energy acts as Prakriti or the material nature, dazzling like a reflection. By such illusory action of Prakriti, even dead matter is caused to move by the cooperation of living energy of the Lord. And the material world appears like a dramatic performance to the ignorant eyes. The ignorant person, therefore, may even be a scientist or physiologist in the drama of Prakriti, while the sane person knows Prakriti as the illusory energy of the Lord. By such a conclusion as confirmed by the Bhagavad Gita, it is clear that the living entities are also a display of the Lord's superior energy, Para Prakriti, just as the material world is a display of the Lord's inferior energy, Apara Prakriti. The superior energy of the Lord cannot be as good as the Lord, although there is very little difference between the energy and the possessor of the energy, or the fire and the heat. Fire is possessed of heat, but heat is not fire. This simple thing is not understood by the man with a poor fund of knowledge, who falsely claims that the fire and the heat are the same. This energy of the fire, namely heat, is explained here as a reflection and not direct fire. Wherefore, the living energy represented by the living entities is the reflection of the Lord and never the Lord himself. Being the reflection of the Lord, the existence of the living entity is dependent on the Supreme Lord, who is the original light. This material energy may be compared to darkness, as actually it is darkness. And the activities of living entities in the darkness are reflections of the original light. The Lord should be understood by the context of this verse. Non-dependence of both the energies of the Lord is explained as Maya or illusion. No one can make a solution of the darkness of ignorance simply by the reflection of light. Similarly, no one can come out of material existence simply by the reflected light of the common man. One has to receive the light from the original light itself. The reflection of sunlight in the darkness is unable to drive out the darkness. But the sunlight outside the reflection can drive out the darkness completely. In darkness, no one can see the things in a room. Therefore, a person in the dark is afraid of snakes and scorpions, although there may not be such things. But in the light, the things in the room can be clearly seen, and the fear of snakes and scorpions is at once removed. Therefore, one has to take shelter of the light of the Lord, as in the Bhagavad Gita or in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and not the reflective personalities who have no touch with the Lord. No one should hear Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam from a person who does not believe in the existence of the Lord. Such a person is already doomed, and any association with such a doomed person makes the associator also doomed. According to the Padma Purana, within the material compass, there are innumerable material universes, and all of them are full of darkness. Any living being, beginning from the Brahmas, there are innumerable Brahmas in the innumerable universes, to the insignificant ant, or all born in darkness, and they require factual light from the Lord to see Him directly. Just as the sun can be seen only by the direct sunlight of the sun, no lamp or man-made torchlight, however powerful it may be, can help one see the sun. The sun reveals itself. Therefore, the action of different energies of the Lord, or the personality of Godhead Himself, can be realized by the light manifested by the causeless mercy of the Lord. The impersonalists say that God cannot be seen. God can be seen by the light of God and not by man-made speculations. Here, this light is specifically mentioned as Vidyat, which is in an order of the Lord to Brahma. This direct order of the Lord is a manifestation of this material energy, and this particular energy is a means of serving the Lord face to face. Not only Brahma, but anyone who may be graced by the Lord to see such merciful direct internal energy can realize the personality of Godhead without any mental speculation. Right. So, Prabhupada has brilliantly explained illusion, our situation, and how our identity, is very different from that of the Lord, but same in quality, both being spiritual, and all these wonderful understanding. So things are clear, and we can pursue our endeavor in realizing that absolute truth, Krishna. So we are all eager to understand. Everybody is eager to understand. Sometimes we are so eager to understand and capture that piece of knowledge, but it's not possible. It's elusive. It just slips out because of requirement for tapasya. Only by tapasya, by austerity and constant meditation on the Lord, can it be made available. Right? So in this day and age, tapasya means devotional service of chanting the holy name of the Lord, reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. When we do this and perform nicely, Krishna gives us these realizations. Only by the mercy of the Lord and by the pure devotee can we be able to get into Vishate Tat Anantaram, enter into the reality. That's guaranteed by Krishna. So, illusion, a very definitive aspect. Then the next shloka, Krishna is saying, O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos. At the same time, do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time, I am outside of everything. Having explained existential truth about absolute aspect, and also explained the opposite of it, that is illusion. Now Krishna is saying, I am there inside the material world, but I'm not there. This is Achintya Veda Abheda Tattva, simultaneously oneness and difference, which is the real philosophy of the Absolute Truth taught to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers. Pashyame Yogamaishwaryam, Krishna explains this in Bhagavad Gita. Behold my mystic opulence, that I can be there through my energy and still not be there personally. And various degrees of this is possible. So this is the next truth explained, that we can understand and experience God without Him actually being there in person. That's why we should not, that's why Krishna is saying, it is a confidential secret knowledge about me. Jnanam paramaguhyam me yad vijnana samanvitam sarahasyam tadangam cha grahana gaditam maya. This is not to be understood so ordinarily, that the Lord has a unique distinction of being present and not being present. Both He can do. So we don't have to demand that the Lord has to be there in front of me for me to believe in Him. I can get an experience of the Lord through His energies. And I can experience that fit enough for me to believe in the existence of the personality of Godhead. For Brahma, Krishna gave the experience of the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Himself, by shaking His hands and telling Him, yes, I am here. And then this is my spiritual manifestation, which is eternal, which is as eternal as me, Vaikuntha Lokas, the Vaikuntha Vasis. But from the viewpoint of your service, what you're going to do is to create the opposite of it. Illusion. Illusory, you're not, in other words, actually, not creating the illusion, create the matter and the material world, which will be seen in an illusioned way by the living entities and thus enjoyed. So that is why it becomes very clear to us, anything that comes from the Lord cannot be called material. In illusion only we can call it material. Because whatever comes from the Lord should also be spiritual. That's another argument. But we make it material by our illusory experience of it. So Krishna is saying, I am there, but I'm not there for you. Because you're an illusion, I'm not there. But I'm there. In this way, the fourth shloka also says, Prabhupada gives an extensive purport, we don't have time to read. Etavat eva jignasyam tatta jignasunatmanah anvaya vyatirekabhyam yatsyat sarvatra sarvada. A person who is searching after the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. That means understanding the Absolute Truth culminates in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's when your understanding of the Absolute Truth is complete. So these are very foundational thoughts from the Srimad Bhagavatam. We have not been able to do full justice to it within the 2 sessions that we have. But we can more or less get a little idea of what it means to understand who is God. What it means to understand who am I. Where do I place myself in the reality matrix? What's my coordinates? Where is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna? Where are the demigods? Where is this material world and creation? All these things we can understand in reality. Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Guru Premanande.